Hi guys, and welcome to my cozy, creative little corner of the internet. My name is Dee and I've been tattooing for 4 years. I've been in the industry for 5 years, which is pretty crazy. And my channel is just a cozy little space that I can kind of share my life, my journey as an artist, and maybe help people be a creative person full-time if that's something that you desire, whether that's tattooing or muraling, doing YouTube, whatever you want. I think it's just a really wholesome and inspiring and fulfilling thing to be doing, so I'm here to share that with you. In this video, I'll be talking about putting together a tattoo apprenticeship portfolio. I did make this video in the past, but it was just really poorly filmed, so I'm remaking it for you. So I hope you enjoy and I hope you learn some things. There's gonna be chapters down below, so as always, if you want to skip around to any part of the video, feel free. Maybe grab a drink, grab a snack, grab your notepad, take notes. Are you gonna be taking notes? I feel like you should, maybe. Let's go. Okay, so before we get started in actually building your portfolio, you gotta have a place to put all your art. I got this massive guy when I was in college, and I think it's just way too big to be lugging around to tattoo studios, so I decided on a slightly smaller one. I originally got this portfolio and I thought it was a really good idea, but looking back at it, I still feel like it's way too big. What's even in here? Oh, these are cute. So I can't actually show you my accepted tattoo apprenticeship portfolio, unfortunately, because I've torn it down, I've rearranged it, it no longer exists. But I can kind of show you examples of physically what you should be looking for that's gonna look really professional, and I'll also have a video down below if you want to check out my accepted tattoo apprenticeship portfolio. Please just excuse the music. I feel like it was edited, and also like the music in it is just not music I resonate with anymore, but I kept it up because it's so useful. So yeah, this is the first one I got. It's 11 by 17. I feel like it's like too massive, but just kind of having a portfolio where it has these nice black pages with a sleeve that you can just design everything on there, put it in the sleeve, you know, it's nice and protected. So I downsized from this one to this one, and this is my favorite type of portfolio. The thing that I really like about it is that this sleeve you can actually remove to put your own artwork along the front, and I think it looks so professional to kind of have your like art name along the front, or you could even do like a little QR code that links to maybe your Instagram page, something like that, just to personalize it a little bit. I won't be showing you what's in here because there's just a bunch of my old artwork. It's chaos right now, but I think 8.5 by 11 is an ideal size, easy to carry around. But same idea, it's got like the little sleeves for you to put your artwork in, and it's all protected, and it comes with the black paper as well, so it can look really nice whether you cut out your artwork and put them in there, kind of like how I showed you in the other one, or you can just put like a full finished flash sheet like right in there, and it's nice and professional looking. This is just what I did, but feel free to get really creative with it. I've seen some people make really pretty scrapbook style ones, or using binders. I think just anything that looks really professional, and also just that you actually care and you put a lot of time into making it look good, that can really set you ahead of other potential apprentices. I've heard of stories of people coming in with just like loose leaf drawings like scattered everywhere. I've even heard of people like bringing scribbles on napkins in, and I feel like that just doesn't show that you really put in the time and effort and really want to be a tattoo apprentice. So highly recommend getting a portfolio, a binder, making a scrapbook, just making it look really nice. So next up, I wanted to talk a little bit about content. What should you actually be including in your portfolio? So the way that I did it and that I recommend it is only putting fully finished pieces of art in your portfolio. And then you can always bring your sketchbook as well to kind of support all of your fully finished and rendered drawings in your portfolio, just so if they want to see, they can see your process work, how you kind of map out your designs. By fully finished, I mean something like this, where everything's either on like a flash sheet or it's like nicely cut out, and it doesn't have to be color. You can do all like black and gray, just making sure it's fully finished, presentable, like that. So in my experience, I actually only included traditional pieces of art that were hand-drawn in my portfolio. I was actually recommended not to include any digital pieces of art. It is really easy for Procreate to help you trace perfect circles or correct lines to be perfectly straight. So I was recommended to include only traditional pieces because it showed that I actually had the ability to get a really clean line without relying on technology to help me. So my process, for example, would be taking a rough draft in my sketchbook and then laying a piece of paper on top of it and tracing it into a good copy to get really clean black outlines. And then at that point I would do all of my coloring. And if you want to do it that way like I did, I'd actually recommend getting a light board. It's just like a thin board and you plug it in and it lights up, so you can put your rough piece of paper on it and then your good copy piece of paper on top, and then you can trace right onto the good copy piece of paper, and it just helps you see through the paper so that you can see what you're doing. That's also how I would design my flash sheets with multiple pieces of art on one sheet. I would take them from different sketchbooks, pieces of paper, wherever they were chaotically, and use the light board to trace them all onto one fully finished flash sheet. As for what style to actually put in your portfolio, I don't think it actually matters too much. I think if you already have an established style, I think just going with that and having the majority of your pieces be your style, I think is great. I've also seen some people kind of be a more all-rounder, so to say, where they kind of study different tattoo styles like traditional, neo-traditional, realism, and they kind of have a little bit of everything in there. I think maybe finding a balance between the two, like if you have a style that you know you really want to focus on and lean into, I think having the majority of your portfolio being your style and artwork is a really good idea. And then maybe you can throw in a few different styles as well, just to showcase that you're not limited to one specific art style and you're open to trying new things as well. Okay, so for the length of the portfolio, this one, for example, is 24 pages. I don't think you necessarily have to fill up this entire thing. I think if you have roughly like 15 to 20 pieces of fully finished either flash sheets or just like singular full page drawings that are like fully rendered, I think that's a good number. I wouldn't make it overly long, and you can always, like I said, bring your sketchbook for backup as well. Okay, so now that we've talked about how to present your artwork and what to actually include in your portfolio, now I'd like to talk about layout. I always say putting your strongest piece of artwork first, because that's the first thing a potential mentor will see, is always your best bet. If you want to go above and beyond as well, you can specifically design a tattoo cover page or like title page. For myself, I did like a little stylized self-portrait with a banner at the bottom which said my name. I'm not going to show it to you because I actually don't know where it is right now, but something like that. You can always look at other people's tattoo apprenticeship portfolios to kind of see what they did if they made a cover page, but I always think it's a good idea. And another thing I did was I made business cards. Actually, I just had my name, my email, and like my title. I think I just wrote artist or something like that. Danger zone. So say for example, this is my title page. I've got my finished artwork, and yeah, I really liked Archer at one point in my life, if you couldn't tell. But I would have my title page and then just thing is huge. This would be like your artist name, and then I would put like my business cards just tucked in the corners, maybe like the front of it there and the back of it down here, because I think I had like a QR code that linked to my Instagram on my business cards. Sorry, I don't have any of my actual like tattoo portfolio stuff saved, but the video will be linked down below if you want to see, and hopefully this gives you a bit of like a visual example of what I'm talking about. And then I would actually put my second best artwork at the end of my portfolio so that you start off really strong, but you also end really strong, and then you can kind of have some things like mixed in between. You can kind of play around with the actual layout of if you have different styles, like maybe you want to break it up, like have like something in your style and then like a traditional style flash sheet, and then maybe a realism piece and then your style again, just so there's some variety throughout. But maybe you like it really organized and you like it sectioned off in like every style having its own section. I still think that there's no right way to do this. I'm just kind of giving you ideas, so hopefully you can put your portfolio together with just a little more knowledge and like just a bit of confidence, and maybe like have some ideas on how you want yours to look. Again, there's no right way on how to do this. I think just putting in a lot of effort and care and love into it is the most important part. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was constructive criticism. So even if you approach a shop or a mentor and they say they're not actually looking for a tattoo apprentice at this time, don't just like run away. If they're able to, maybe just be like, hey, I understand, but if I could still have a moment of your time, and if you could look through my portfolio and just ask them to give you some feedback. Is there anything else maybe you can include to make your portfolio that much stronger? And then maybe you can go home with all of the feedback that you got and just use that to maybe add a few more pages, rearrange some stuff in your portfolio, and maybe you'll have a few fresh ideas too. So I also wanted to include a quick section of what you shouldn't include. I think there's a common misconception that you like have to buy a tattoo machine off of Amazon and start tattooing fake skin to show that you can like tattoo, but that's actually like not ideal. A lot of tattoo shops and tattoo mentors actually like it if you've never touched a tattoo machine before. It's really easy if you don't know what you're doing to pick up really bad habits, and also just like unsafe habits, especially when it comes to proper barriers and PPE. The bloodborne pathogens aspect of it is very, very serious. You could like seriously hurt someone, so it's actually recommended that you have absolutely no experience actually tattooing, so that when your mentor or the studio that you're learning from takes you on, they can teach you like from a clean slate, and they know that they are teaching you good skills. So at this point in your journey, you don't actually have to worry about getting a machine and fake skin. Your mentor and studio will like actually help you pick out a tattoo machine, and then when they think you're ready, then they'll actually get you working on fake skin. So at this part in your journey, don't get too excited. You don't have to worry about getting a machine or fake skin. When your mentor or the studio that you're apprenticing under thinks you're ready, they'll help you with all of that. It can be super overwhelming, so just waiting until you have professional advice and guidance is always recommended. But I'm not saying you can't do your own research. I still think it's really helpful if you're really passionate about tattooing to watch a lot of videos and do a bunch of research on like the history of tattooing or different tattoo styles. Like stuff like that can really help you understand everything that goes into tattooing before you actually become an apprentice. I mean, your mentor should teach you all that anyways, but just if you're curious to kind of like dip your toes in before you get an apprenticeship. But yeah, I always recommend holding off on the machine and the fake skin because that will be a bit later in your journey. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to talk about before I go is actually patience. Just being patient with yourself. This is gonna be a really long journey. For myself, just looking back on the amount of time I spent like hyper fixating on my portfolio and being like, oh my god, is it ready? I think it's ready. No, wait, no, it's not ready. And just like rearranging and redesigning things. I just really had to learn how to be patient with myself, and this is gonna take a lot of effort, a lot of time, but if you're truly passionate about it and this is what brings you joy and this is something that you really, really want, just be patient with yourself, keep working at it, and don't give up. You know, you might go to mentors and shops and be told like, I'm not looking for an apprentice, or you know, you might get, oh my god, there's a really cute dog over there. Sorry, he's so cute. I'm getting distracted. So what I was trying to say is you might get rejected, and that's okay. Just try to make sure that you're looking at it in like a positive mindset, just asking those questions of how can I improve, and you're being gentle and kind with yourself. You've worked so hard on this, and just don't give up. There will be more studios and more opportunities. Just keep working at it, and I do truly believe that if you really want this, you can make it happen, especially if you've just put like your heart into it. I feel like that really shows and is already gonna put you ahead of all those people that like kind of want it, but they're like, about it, you know, like if you've really poured your heart into your work and it shows, I think your hard work will pay off. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I really hope this video helped you out. I am so grateful that I didn't give up even though it was really hard, and I hope that I can help you do the same, and good luck on your apprenticeship journey. You can always check out my tattoo apprenticeship playlist. I have a few videos that might be helpful to you, and if you want to check out my portfolio, what mine looked like, it will be linked down below. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.